Alrighty. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Welcome back to Once Upon a Time in Gaming, where today we're going to be reviewing or revisiting Doom on whatever console you played on. Yeah. I mean, it came on everything, so stay tuned. And we're back. How's everybody Thanksgiving? I mean, we should have spent it together, but we kind of did it.
Yeah, what happened with that?
We all have separate families, I guess. Rich, how was Thanksgiving?
I'm kicking it. Let's kick it.
Mine was good. As good as it could be. Everyone was sick, so we just stayed home and went to my in-laws sent over some food, and they put it in foil, and I unwrapped it, and it was a very small portion of everything for all of us to share. So I ended up ordering like $100 meal from Richie's.
Oh. Richie's Barbecue.
Pick that up. Yeah.
Yeah, that place is good. Yeah.
No offense, I was grateful for the food that we received, but it was like a spoonful for each.
They don't watch these videos. You're
really
fine.
don't.
Yeah. Oh. David, how was Thanksgiving?
Yeah, mine was nice. Nice per usual. Mine nice and lazy. Just stayed in the apartment. Just me and Lorena. Just two of us had Thanksgiving. She actually cooked a massive feast that probably won't finish for the next couple weeks, but you know, I like to eat, so we're good.
I guess Jared. How was your Thanksgiving?
I did
just stayed home, didn't eat till late.
What?
Taco Bell?
No, actually, we were gonna go
sandwiches.
somewhere and it was closed. So we went around and McDonald's was even closed.
Oh my!
Wow.
Went to Jack in the Box.
Wow.
not bad.
Happy
Thanksgiving Jack in the Box.
Yeah,
Oh.
Jack in the Box. Yeah.
Yeah,
It wasn't good at all.
Made me feel really good about my day, so I
Yeah.
appreciate you.
Mine was terrible.
Yeah. I got stuck making 90. Well, I don't want to say 90% of it because Linda did most of it, but
You were there for it.
yeah, I mean, I think we got there at like 8 a.m., just started cooking everything, and then people tried to bail out, and then they were coerced into coming back because we're like, what about the kids? Think of the kids. And then, I played volleyball with the kids, and
So you go to somebody else's house, use their kitchen, and cook in their kitchen, and why don't they cook? I don't get it.
because they're Asian, so they want to make like oysters and all these weird stuff, and I'm like,
Different types
no,
of
I
food.
want like turkey, cranberry stuffing, like traditional kind of food. Thanksgiving, I guess American.
And so they just
Thanksgiving.
say, cool.
Yeah, and they're just like, all right, well,
Bring what you want, basically.
do whatever you're gonna do. We're gonna go to church. We're gonna do this, and they come back and they just eat all the food, but they have to clean everything up.
That's the worst part anyway.
And then Jr., my dog, kept jumping in their pool, so they couldn't come in the house because he's soaking wet. And I'm like, let him dry off. And like every 2 minutes, you'd be
Jumps
like,
back.
he's starting to dry off, and then you look and he's just swimming.
Yeah.
So that was fun though. Ate way too much. Pooped a lot.
Okay.
Pooped a lot.
You
They
or
were
the
gonna
dog?
go there.
No, me, of
Oh.
course. 2 poops. If you're
I only
wondering.
asked if it was you or the dog because when my dog would go swimming, he'd drink so much water, he'd immediately get out, go poop, and then come back in.
Where's
Oh
this
yeah,
going?
he pooped. No, he pooped a couple
Thoroughly
times.
apologize for what we're talking
He
about.
rubbed on the wall, like he was rubbing on the outside of the wall,
His
and
poop?
then he was
Two-man
digging like
perfectly
in the
fine.
dirt. He's a digger. He's a lab. So.
Yeah. Well, they like to get wet and then get dirty, and then get wet again.
That they do.
Anyway.
Oh man, got something in my eye there. But I guess we can just start by going through some of the gameplay of Doom. I just don't know who I want to kick it to, so I guess I will go with Jared.
Oh.
What do you think about when you first put the game in and you played on what did you play on?
I was playing Xbox.
So you played on like the Xbox, which is it's a pretty solid port. When you first start playing it, what is the first thing you think?
What do I think?
Yeah, when
I'm
you
thinking of the music about to kick in, and the graphics are they're I guess they're good for the day, but once you start moving, I noticed the control, the right joystick, you move really fast, so it's kind of hard to aim. So there's a guy right in front of me, and I'm trying to shoot. I'm hitting the wall behind him, and he's just kind of walking back and forth. I don't know if he was a demon or a space marine. I don't know what he was.
Yeah, I think he's like a soldier who like they took over his soul or something. He's like
Yeah.
reanimated or something.
So the music kicks in right away, and you're like, okay, this is gonna be a banger. So you start going around. I couldn't figure out where to go. I know the first level people can beat in like 20 seconds. It took me like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
I couldn't find anything. I was
think
terrible at it.
The par time is like 80 seconds or something.
Yeah, and then it's pretty fun. And
30 seconds.
So it's
Just
30
to be
seconds.
clear. Not that I wrote it down. But
30 seconds. And I know you can't jump. There's no jump.
Wait, you
button.
can't jump?
There's no jump button,
yeah.
so it's a little weird.
So what do you do if you fall like in the lava?
You got to find an elevator or you're screwed.
Okay.
You're dead. And now I put it on the easiest difficulty because I just wanted to enjoy the game. Because I know some of them are really, there's like 4 different difficulties.
Yeah.
And I put it on the easiest just so I can see. And I was like, okay, I'll play a couple levels, play again. No, I played like the first 5 levels. I was like, this is just entertaining.
It's a really fun game. Rich, you want to chime in on anything on what Jared said? Or?
Yeah. The aiming, to your point, you can tell it wasn't really made for a controller, right? And the aiming was a little weird, but I felt like I wasn't really even shooting the guy, but he was dying. That's what was weird. I don't know if I was just the only one that noticed that, but like I just kind of need to be in the area, and the guy would just die. Same thing played on the easiest difficulty, and you guys are making fun of me because I fell in that stupid green molten lava.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do I get out? I'm hitting every button possible to think he can jump, and he couldn't jump, and I just kept dying.
Next time, don't tell us stuff ahead of the video. So
Yeah,
we'll make fun
but
of
it
you.
was fun.
Yeah, so I think talking about like what you're saying is like there could be a guy like up on a ledge, and as long as you're in a straight line, if you fire a bullet, it's gonna hit him.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why, which I don't know, obviously I don't code games or make games or anything, but I think it's because they didn't have the ability to make 3-dimensional, so everything is on a linear plane. So that's why like when you go upstairs, it's like you're gradually going up. It's just like different steps. That's the way they could make it look 3-dimensional. But when you shoot at somebody, you don't have the ability to like go, I guess what would you call that, the y-axis? They weren't able to do that, so that's why like if a guy's up on a balcony and you're on the first floor and you shoot, he just like dies.
Now, sadly for me, because my aim is so poor, I actually liked it a little bit more. It had brought a little more enjoyability because I was able to just kind of focus on what was happening around me rather than actually trying to shift the gun. I'm sure it would have been actually even harder if they actually let us go up and down.
You can't look down. I was
Yeah.
trying to fall down a thing,
Yeah.
ledge to get like a secret, and I couldn't find where it was. And I was like, okay, it was about here, and I fell
you
off,
have to
and like I was
gauge.
getting hurt. I'm like, oh, and there was a little elevator to go back up. So I don't know
Yeah.
where you fell.
What do you guys feel about like the sound effects? I know you said the music was
The
good.
music's banging.
I don't agree with that, actually,
What?
but I want to pivot a bit. The sound effects, I like the doors. I really did like with the doors opening, the buttons being pushed. It's just a little loud, but I like the effect in regards to like the overall environment.
Was loud though. It'd be
Yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah.
whoa.
And then like same with the buttons, you'll hear like a door open that you have no idea where it's at when you hit the magic buttons. But it's nice. The effects, the gun effects sound nice. The bad guys sound nice. But I would say the music, other than the first level, I was not a fan of. I was really excited in the beginning, and then afterwards, I kind of didn't feel the same level of pumped that I did level 1.
Yeah. Level 1 definitely has the best music. What about you?
Same, but I thoroughly enjoyed the music,
Yeah.
so there's that. The sound effects were quality. I felt like, I mean, when you see how the game looks, you don't expect the sound to be like the greatest in the world either. So I felt like everything meshed really well together, and I didn't know about like just shooting the guy and he would, you know what I mean, fall. But that's interesting to hear. But yeah, I thought the sound effects were good. The music was great.
Yeah, the music definitely, when you first turn it on, it's like building up and you hear it, you want to go slay some demons. So,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think one of the biggest things that's cool is like, you know where your health stands, kind of like, obviously it tells you like the number, but you see like his little face getting bloodier down in the bottom, or like you see like his eyebrows lift up, and like little things for a 1993 game. Obviously it was a PC game at the time, so like it looked really good, and then the ports came over, and obviously there's a million of them. I know Jared's favorite to play is on the Tiger Electronic.
Yeah, right.
But Jared, you want to give a little synopsis of what this game's even about?
You just you just slay demons, man. That's all you're doing.
But who are you?
You're the Doomslayer, is that what I'm saying?
It's technically like a space marine, I think. Yeah. So I think basically you're a space marine, and if I'm wrong, leave it in the comments. Tell me how stupid I am. I believe you're like a space marine, and it's these demons come from either like a black hole or like they come from like another dimension, and they just start killing everybody. And you're like the last person left. They even kill your pet rabbit or your pet bunny or something, and you're the last guy left.
Where
And
does
you
it say that?
basically go in and just kick ass.
So I have a genuine question because this is something that bothered me a little bit, and maybe I was like too focused on getting to the game. Where did we get that plot information? Because I was sitting, not to put you on the spot, I was just sitting there like I don't really know what I'm doing.
So I know in the
jumped in
original,
and started
I
shooting
believe
things.
on PC it gives you like a scrolling screen, and I know it's in the book. It's got like a detailed story in the book, and I think it's the first screen. It shows like everyone's dead, and it shows like a little white bunny dead on the ground. It's almost like John Wick before John Wick, if you know what I mean.
Spoiler.
Demons.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going around killing a lot of demons. Now I think Doom 3 was one that introduced like they were from Mars or something.
I thought it was a portal from hell or something, right?
Yeah, well they're supposed to be coming from hell, yeah, but I think Doom 3 was like they're digging on Mars and then it opens up a portal to hell.
Nobody
or
talks
something.
about Doom 3, dude.
But
That's
either way,
It's not a good one.
Either way, I digress. But
So basically, if I didn't have the actual manual, I might
I mean,
miss
is
the
there,
story.
is there something in here?
There's a manual in there.
we'll check this out live.
Yeah,
See if there's some-
well, there's no manual.
No
There's no
manual.
manual there?
I think it's behind the.
Yeah, it might be behind that little.
I mean, the reason I bring it
thing.
up is you saw in the other videos, if you've watched, I've kind of liked to get in the moment with what the character's actual like goal is, and I
Yeah.
felt like I just jumped in and started shooting things, which is fun. Don't get me wrong. I
Wow,
just have no
The
idea.
story so far, right
Yeah,
there.
I don't know how much of this I want to read. It goes.
Yeah. You can
I would
read
just
off
read it. We can
just
always
the
just
first section.
edit out.
So it says the story so far. You're a Marine, one of Earth's toughest, hardened in combat and trained for action. 3 years ago, you assaulted a superior officer for ordering his soldiers to fire upon civilians.
Awesome.
He and his body cast were shipped to Pearl Harbor, while you were transferred to Mars, home of the Union Aerospace Corporation. The UAC is a multi-planetary conglomerate with radioactive waste facilities on Mars and its 2 moons, Phobos and Deimos. With no action for 50 million miles, your day consisted of sucking dust and watching restricted flicks in the rec room.
Sucking dust. Never heard of that phrase before.
For the last 4 years, the military UAC's biggest supplier has used the remote facilities on Phobos and Deimos to conduct various secret projects, including research on interdimensional space travel. So far, they have been able to open gateways between Phobos and Deimos, throwing a few gadgets into a gateway on one moon and watching them come out the gateway on the other. Recently, however, the gateways were grown dangerously unstable. Military volunteers entering them have either disappeared or been stricken with a strange form of insanity, babbling vulgarities, bludgeoning anything that breathes, and finally suffering an untimely death of full-body explosion.
Wow.
Definitely
Okay.
untimely.
Matching heads with torsos to send home to the folks became a full-time job.
Holy moly.
Latest military reports state that the research is suffering a small setback, but everything is under control. And then it says there's a chilling SOS. It's up to you. There's a lot here. Yeah, I mean, there's another 2 pages that kind of just.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to say you really have a nice, calming, and very confident reading voice. You must do that
I was
a lot with
nervous
that,
the
no?
whole time.
Were you? No,
people going to be
came out great.
critiquing my. I'll read some more then. Hang on.
Today, Junior.
Well, now that you like it.
The next one says a chilling SOS. So this is like the
Now
next
he's not
chapter.
going
I
to
guess.
stop.
A few hours ago.
Okay, I think we're done, dude.
No.
This is where it's
this
gonna
is
tell
where
you
gotta
what's
find
going
out.
on.
This is where
Yeah.
you got to find out. We can always cut all this out or just skip it. If you don't like it, go to X in the video, right?
Yeah, well, this will
Whatever.
be the
Just
Don't
stop
forget to like
watching
and
if you don't like it.
subscribe,
Whatever. A few hours ago, Mars received a garbled message from Phobos. We require immediate military support. Something friggin' evil is coming out of the gateways. Computer systems have gone berserk.
friggin' evil.
Is that like a Dr. Evil like saying? Friggin' evil?
It was weird. The rest was incoherent. Soon afterwards, Deimos simply vanished. Since then, attempts to establish contact with either moon have been unsuccessful. You and your buddies, the only combat troops for 50 million miles, were sent up pronto to Phobos. You were ordered to secure the perimeter of the base while the rest of the team went inside. For hours, your radio picked up the sounds of combat. Guns firing, men yelling, screams, bones cracking, then finally, silence.
Oh no.
Seems your buddies are dead. It's up to you. Things aren't looking too good. You'll never be able to navigate off the asteroid on your own. Plus, all the heavy weapons were taken by the assault team, leaving you with only a pistol for protection. If only you could get your hands around a plasma rifle or even a shotgun, you could take down a few enemies on your way out. Whatever killed your buddies deserves a couple of your pellets in their forehead. Securing your helmet, you exit the landing pod. Hopefully you can find more substantial firepower somewhere within the station. As you walk through the main entrance of the base, you hear animal-like growls echoing throughout the distant corridors. Oh, that was good, dude. We should have had that the whole time. They know you're here. There's no turning back now. And that's it.
So see, now imagine reading that and then playing
No,
the first level.
and I really actually appreciate that because if I know it might sound over-exaggerating, but I legitimately got chills towards the end. I was actually excited.
Yeah, it's a.
I like to know what I'm doing before I even get into the
So
game.
do you
it's very
know?
important.
Do you know? He's actually a relative of B.J. Blazkowicz from Wolfenstein. Did you know that?
I only know that because you told me years ago.
I did.
Yeah.
But that's supposed to be his relative.
Also made by id Software.
That's why he's a badass too, because they're relatives. Just
Struggling to put this back.
Family line.
Yeah. So
Thanks again for
what
that.
about the enemy types? Did you guys have a favorite? One that you hated the most?
the head flying thing. It's like a little head.
Yeah.
Like the burning one or the big fat
the
one?
big fat one. It's like, what
Oh,
is
yeah.
that?
Yeah, the large
He's not
one.
tough.
He's not tough, but
We played on easy, right?
True.
So they were all pretty.
yeah. The one I hated
standard.
was the little skull, because you can get just overwhelmed with them. They're like, "Rah," and they just like several at a time. And then obviously the dude that's got like the metallic leg, I think like one of the first final bosses. That guy sucks, especially if the difficulty is kind of high. So
Did you play on a higher difficulty per usual?
I think whatever it starts on. I
So
mean,
like right in the middle. I think
yeah,
you're
because like
right
even
in
the
middle.
new Doom games, like no, I don't go crazy because I'll watch these people that play like on the hardest difficulty where they get hit once and they're
Yeah.
like dead and they
Obliterate.
like beat the entire game, and I'm like, no, that's just too much. But did you have a favorite enemy type or? Or,
No,
I
I
guess a
didn't. I
favorite
didn't
you hated?
love or hate any of them. I just thought they all were. I liked that there were different ones. I didn't really care that there were, like, I guess a bunch of the same ones in certain areas. I thought that was kind of whatever, but I could see why in 1993. But it was fine.
It was actually really cool because this is one of the first games that when you kill an enemy, their body parts still stay there.
Yeah.
So when you come back, you're like, okay, I've been here because you see their body parts everywhere. And then you see I guess those Marine guys were your buddies because you see their bodies all over the.
Well, that's why there's guns, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you would never. I think that's more of a plot device, though, right? Like, how are you going to get guns? Like,
Yeah.
if aliens aren't carrying them. But
All your friends.
Yeah.
I think one thing I liked about I don't know all the names. I know I'm looking right here at the Baron of Evil, which is kind of like the horned red looking one. But
Yeah.
I liked the fact that there was a monotonous amount of enemies that look the same, and then when you turn the corner, there's one that's like extremely strong compared to the rest. Kind of throws you off a bit. So I think I like that little mixture on my side because it kind of got me back into the game from being like kind
Yeah.
of a little bored, and then oh crap, let's turn it up a bit.
best weapon in the game,
Shotgun.
Oh yeah, shotgun.
brass knuckles. Just punching them into pieces. That's the
I
probably
was
the
just
best
pumping
part.
that
Oh
shotgun.
no, I lied. The chainsaw.
I didn't get the
I
chainsaw.
love the chainsaw.
I didn't get that far.
I was just
Chainsaw
ripping
was
that
good.
thing all over the place.
Well, in the new one, you have to get gas
Yeah.
cancer, and you only get like 2. And then once you use it, it's like your chainsaw's gone.
Yeah,
so you have to
some-
use it sparingly.
And I was worried about
Sometimes
that actually, so I didn't use it right away, and then I realized like I don't see any like supplies for gas, so I just pretty much overused it.
I do like in this game too. It does have some major replayability because when you finish a level, it'll tell you how many secrets you found. And sometimes I felt like I scoured every like nook and cranny of this map, and then it would be like secrets 0 of 7. And I'm like, damn,
What was
how
that
bad
blue?
am I?
What was that blue orb with a face on it? What was that?
That's a great question. I thought of the same thing. It's
blue
basically a
orbital.
power up.
Yeah, I looked at it and I
Yeah.
see it through a gate and I couldn't get to it. I'm like, okay, maybe it's not
Isn't that the
important.
one where it just makes you like one hit? You can
supercharge.
one hit everything. I think.
Yeah.
I never got one. I just saw them floating to the levels. I'm like, I don't want to look
So I
for
wrote that down to ask the same question, then I happened to run into it later, and it just said supercharge. And I
it. Oh,
just-
okay.
I think that's you team that up with like if you have the brass knuckles, you can just one hit everyone. You
brass
just
knuckles. Yeah,
blow to
brass
pieces.
knuckles.
I mean, when you don't have a handgun, use something.
Yeah, I just think it's funny when you
Yeah.
punch them, they just.
What about you, Rich? Weapon-wise?
Shotgun was my
Shotgun.
favorite, but I didn't play enough to get to a chainsaw. I'm sure that would have been sick, but the shotgun was cool. I thought the handgun was kind of cool in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, it was good enough, and then once you get the shotty, though, you switch to the shotty, you never go back.
Yeah, it changes
Yeah.
the whole aspect of the game.
Yeah,
right there.
just the sound effects of even the guns though, like just hearing that shotgun, it's just so satisfying.
Or when the door opens, and you just rip the shotgun shell, and the guy gets blown back instantly. Like, it's super satisfying.
Yeah.
So
it's
your
pretty
whole
cool.
team gets wiped out, but you're just blasting everybody. Who is this guy?
He's Doom.
He's related to Blazkowicz.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's
I wonder.
he's a doomslayer, man. kills
So
everybody.
what's cool about, if you look at the cover right here, you can see him getting grabbed. In the new Doom, when you play, when you look down your armor, you have that mark because it's supposed to be the same guy. Now, I don't
fun
understand
fact.
the new game why he's waking up. I never really understood that.
Somehow he got captured or
Yeah,
something.
he breaks out at the beginning of the first one, but it's supposed to be direct sequel.
Okay.
So that's why he has the market. I mean, so they did a really good job.
Not to throw anyone off if we don't know the answer. Where does Doom 64 fit in all this?
It's
Because I
his own
have
thing.
played that.
It's his own thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it was just to showcase like 3-dimensional graphics for the 64.
Yeah,
Not too
because
sure,
the
yeah.
other ports are terrible. Like, the Atari one's bad. The PlayStation one's really good. What else do they have?
Yeah, the
3DO.
Jaguar-
I think they have a 3DO version.
The Jaguar has no music.
Yeah.
Yep, we learned that. So
So this isn't the worst version. So it's like right in the middle. Because there's ones that are way better, worse. So if you can get one, if you can't get the PC version, you want to get the PlayStation version.
and the Super Nintendo had no blood, right? Or did
Yeah.
it have blood? Do you guys remember?
Super Nintendo, I know it's pretty bad. I think it's a red cartridge.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever played the Super Nintendo one, but anyway, it's. I mean,
this is
it's
my first
it's
experience with this game,
on.
so, yeah.
It's on everything, but I don't want to go into too many details because that might be taken into producer Rich's, notes that
Oh,
he's
that's
got
true.
sitting over there. So I guess this is you're good at shooting
Yeah,
it
so
to
this is the segment where we throw it to producer Rich. We give him X amount of time each week. I think we came to a consensus last week. He fumbled the numbers a little bit. He hit us with like a million, billion, bajillion. I don't know what game we were even talking about. So we're going to keep him at 15. He's not going to
Yeah.
lose time, though, because I feel like
Standard time.
he deserves 15.
I agree.
So what we're going to do here is we're going to hit the stop and start. And you ready, producer Rich?
give us a thumbs up when you're ready.
He's going to hit us with some
go.
stuff that we haven't
All
talked
right.
about. Ready, go.
All right, it's inspired by the Dungeons and Dragons and the film Evil Dead 2 and Aliens. And it is the Doom guy. They call him the Doom guy. He's a space marine. And you fight invading demons from hell. And it's 1993.
That's it. Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Wow,
Wow.
that's as close as you can get to
Yep.
15 seconds.
Wow.
He
Nice.
could have got a little closer. nine. What is that? Hundredths of a second.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we can just get into the nitty gritty, right? What everyone came here to, to hear.
What is that?
This game is from 1993.
Okay.
We got to get the Metacritic score
Got it.
before we can decide whether this game is SmackCertified.
Yeah, and I think what we need to do too when we get the Metacritic score, let's see. Let's talk about that a little bit. Do we think? I mean, whether we think it's SmackCertified or not, we kind of just throw it out there every week. Like, here's a Metacritic score. But maybe we can maybe we guess what we think the
Okay.
Metacritic score should be before he gives it to us, to have some
Okay.
some
We're
stuff.
saying
that
out of
we-
100, obviously.
Now,
So-
I have a legitimate question then. So Metacritic score, now, is this like a critical score that comes out when the game first came out? Because obviously I know they went back and they reviewed some, because sometimes I feel like, perfect example would be like not the OG, but like the 1982 movie The Thing has terrible reviews on it, but it's arguably the greatest
Yep.
horror movie of all time. Like,
Great movie.
is Metacritic going to have an old score, or do they go back and re-review it? Does anybody know?
I have no clue.
They're
about
not that old of a company, so I believe they're just going back,
Okay.
which could sway them because
That's
they
a
already
great
know.
question.
That's what I'm saying, because
it's
this
a-
one is like a cult classic.
Yeah.
It might get it. Okay. All right. Well, I just kind of
For me,
asked
I
a
think
question no one had an
yeah.
answer to.
Yeah. I
You know
think
the answer. Leave it in the comments.
I think the Metacritic can be around an 82. That's what
Oh, I'm thinking it's high 80s.
Yeah, I'm going to go higher.
88 for me.
Yeah,
I'm going to pull my keep.
I was gonna say 88 exactly.
Okay. I was going to say, because I know it sold so well that I feel like that usually generates well with the critics. So I say 93 out of 100.
Marvin Harrison, 88.
Well, I have for Game Boy Advance is Game Boy Advance is 81.
Oh, overshot.
PlayStation is 84. SNES, well, I only have 54%. I didn't have that. 360 is 82. So you're in the 80.
Do we have PC? That's kind of like
I
the
didn't
main
see
one.
the PC for some reason. I couldn't find it. That was what I tried to find.
So
Interesting.
they're all kind of close in the 80, mid,
Well,
low
he's
80 range.
got a couple more. Let's
No,
hear
I
it.
don't.
Oh, you don't?
No Atari Jaguar one.
Well, there's a lot of
Yeah, no,
I was
that's
a little.
that's good.
Had a lot less on my paperwork this week.
No, that's fine. So we'll say I was right at 82.
Yeah, I would say that's
And
fair.
then how much did how much does it go for today?
You're in the 80 range, yeah, about 85. Yeah, all these are complete. Keep that in mind. The 32X, I've seen it for 45 to 30.
That's
so it's
a
pretty
lot.
expensive.
Yeah.
Xbox, you're looking at 10 to 13, and PS4 about 14. So it's not too much.
So I mean,
That's random. Let's go off original-ish hardware because I feel like if you're gonna buy it, you're probably not gonna buy it for.
this might be the rarest version too. So I don't think we want to go 45.
Let's go 30. I feel like 30 is fair because he had 10, 15, then he said 45
Well,
to 30.
where
That
you're
shit
buying
went
it from.
backwards.
Yeah.
45 to 30, yeah.
And I would imagine Super Nintendo would probably be right around here. PlayStation's probably a little cheaper. PC is probably free because it's just
I
everywhere.
think you're probably in the 25 to 30 range.
Well, the good thing is most of the stuff is on Game Pass. So
Yeah,
you don't even
but it's
literally.
not going to be there
you know what I'm saying?
forever,
No,
though.
It just
Eh,
depends what
it's first
console
party
you
over
want
here.
because it's on everything you
Let's
can
just
think of.
let's
yeah.
just see what we get listed on the.
If you have the Jaguar, it's got to be probably really
$200
expensive.
probably.
Yeah.
On the spot research. Let's go.
So, yeah, I see Super Nintendo complete in box is $158.
Yeah, so let's just say $30. Yeah, because I'm like that's.
But you got to remember that's a cardboard complete in box, right? So it's let's see what it is on PlayStation here.
I would assume that's gonna be like 28, 30. I'm gonna take a sip real quick.
So
You enjoying that?
PlayStation is the long box is $66 complete in box. The short box, normal size that you guys would see is about $40.
Yeah.
Then there's a Doom Platinum, which is $14. Yeah, I think $30-$40 is fair.
Okay.
Somewhere in that range.
We'll let the individual
30,
gauge how far they think it is.
$40. So I'm actually gonna let you guys just decide which one of you three wants to go first and determine whether this is Smack certified. Maybe you just duke it out.
You want me to go first?
I do.
So you're doing the point thing now?
I do.
Dooming out.
I am. I do.
I mean, it's
I do.
pretty. I mean, it's pretty obvious if it's gonna be or not. I mean, it's right there. So graphics, great for the day. I can see why this game was a cult class or like a classic right away. Is because the graphics, especially back then, are great. Sound, amazing. Music, even better. Controls, well, but maybe if you play on a mouse and keyboard, probably
Yeah.
a little better. But once you get used to it, I think the controls are fine. Yeah, definitely Smack certified.
Oh.
Absolutely. So you said it was 40, probably on the high end. I think we paid about 40 for that. I've had it for a couple of years, so yeah, definitely Smack certified.
You wouldn't pay more than that?
42.
Okay.
Oh,
42.
Just enough.
All right, so who was gonna? I'll go next. Is that fair?
That's
You're gonna go next? Okay.
So would I spend 30 or $40 on it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I want to go next, but I don't know.
I'm torn because like it is, on Game Pass and all that stuff. But I like to have fun, cool games in my collection. But a lot of my collection stuff I've been grabbing recently is stuff I've played a lot of in the past, or I can play with my kid. Can't play this with the kid. He's not going to be slaying demons at 4. That being said, I like if I was going to buy one, I would buy the 32X one, even though I don't have a 32X because it looks really cool. I like the box. Sure, I'll Smack certify it.
Oh.
I'm leaning more towards buying it than not. So yeah, I think it's worth about that. Would I spend 160 on the long box for PlayStation? No.
That's crazy.
But I also spend a lot of money on other stupid stuff. So for $40, I think this is definitely worth it.
Okay.
Here, Mr.
Always me?
Mr. Cheapo.
He's
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Dreamlight.
You have to bring that every single time. I'll mention it myself. Well, I can say I haven't played the original Doom ever. I played some of the newer ones, so definitely a good experience for me. I was excited to some extent because I just wanted to kind of see what the old hype was about. The music, when you start it, gets you excited, and I was like, all right, this is going to be a good time. And as I mentioned earlier, as the levels went on, I was more interested in like the time trial aspect to try to get the levels done quickly than I was about like the environment, the baddies, the music was kind of just back there in the background. I didn't really like it too much there. I'm not gonna lie, the bouncing up and down when you walk around kind of made me a little bit nauseous. The way that it moved around, so I wasn't a super fan of that. This game is something I would definitely like. If we play Wolfenstein, one of the newer ones, there's like an arcade you go to, and you kind of play a level or a couple levels of the old original version, like the 92 one. So I definitely would like to play this game in that kind of aspect, but not in regards to buying the game and keeping it myself. So definitely not Smack certified for me. Price would not have been the issue here.
And I think that's interesting, right? Because we like to collect, right? And so that's what we're thinking about having it in our collection.
Yep.
It's an iconic game you want in your collection. So $40 isn't a ton. But from just a person who just wants to play the game maybe to feel it out for the first time, I definitely see your point. So
And I think it would have helped if that story that you read out so greatly was there. And maybe I missed it. Maybe it was, so you clicked the story somewhere on the main page. But if it was there right at the beginning, I think that would have brought me in a little
Did
bit more.
anybody see anything about the pet bunny getting killed, or is that just something you made up?
No.
I believe you. I didn't see
No,
it.
so I think
Yeah.
that's actually after you beat the final boss. I think there's like a little pet bunny that's dead. I could be entirely wrong. This could just
Whole
be
different
made
game.
up in my head. But if I find like a screen grab, you know what? I'll play through again. I'll beat it, and if the pet bunny's there, I'll put it on
I
screen
got a
right
question.
now.
If he's wrong, is that worse than Ben Feldman?
no, Ben Feldman's
Okay,
the worst by
okay.
far.
Good try.
Yeah.
Damn.
Because at least his is adding to the story. Yours is just all wrong.
Yeah.
What are you
But then you have
Is he
to,
wrong
he
too?
might have a point though, because you remember I added like, oh, in that way it's kind of like John Wick. But if I made that up, it's like no, it's not at all.
Sure.
I guess that leaves me, and I mean, mine's gonna be pretty obvious. It's clearly SMAC certified for the simple fact that this is like the most legendary first-person game. Obviously, Wolfenstein, but
Wolfenstein?
id Software, like the fact that, put it this way, the fact that when they came out and they made not the second or Doom, whatever it's called, the most recent one, but the one before that, when they finally brought it back out, and it ends up winning Game of the Year and all this stuff, and everyone goes, we did not think they can go back to that original Doom and give you the feeling like the very first time you've ever played Doom. It's a game where it's like, if you've ever played a first-person shooter and you haven't played Doom, like, you're literally kidding yourself, because it's the forefather.
Yeah,
And that alone makes it SMAC certified. If you're a collector, absolutely. Like if someone were to walk in this game room right now that we're in, and they were to go, "Oh, Jared, you have how many games?"
I think we're at
2000.
1,000. I think we're at 1,050 now.
So let's say you had
not even that much.
1,049,
It's not
and
even that much.
and they're like, "Do you have Doom?" And you're like, "I don't have any Doom." They're like, "This ain't a game room, dude." That's what they'd say. Exactly like
Yeah,
that.
just like that.
Exactly.
Well, I think
like
I think it depends, right? Like
As a jerk.
I think most of what we do here is revisiting games we played, and
Yep.
so when any of us have seen a trend, haven't played a game, and
Yep.
we go and play it for the first time, we don't have that same affinity for it.
You don't get those
Or
feels.
yeah, so it's different, right? I think had you played this in '93 and then you're playing the new one, you're like, oh my god, you took me back. Playing this game now, if you have never played it before, it doesn't really take you anywhere, but it's bad compared to a lot of the newer games.
Yeah.
So that's kind of I think
Agree.
why.
Yeah, I
and
agree.
but from a collector's perspective, you definitely want to have it. From a historical perspective, you want to have it. If you just want to play it, just play it on Game Pass, right? You don't need
Yeah.
to buy it. So I think that's kind of the difference in mentality here.
Yeah, and I think we should kind of clear, like, if someone doesn't SMAC certify something, like David's not SMAC certified, that doesn't mean like he's, oh, well, no, this game's not worthy.
Yeah.
It's just, you know what? It doesn't hit me in the same spot, that's why it's so rare when we all collectively SMAC certify something like Sonic Adventures or whatever game I picked last time, or Alien Isolation. Like, it's a game where you have to
Hits
go
all
try
parts.
this, no matter whether you're a collector, like you just mentioned before.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is you do. If you're a casual gamer, or what'd you call him, the lonely gamer last week?
I think mine was like, just you don't have anybody that wants to play with you. I don't know.
So,
That wasn't you either. That was just somebody in general.
but yeah, I mean, unless Producer Rich, you got anything you want to add?
No.
Well, I just figured because last
Shut
week
down.
he tried to see if you wanted to add anything else. I figured
Yeah.
I'd do the
Well,
same. I don't want to
kinda-
be the rude guy over here.
No, I just
With that being said, if you guys don't have anything you want to add, I think that's going to conclude us revisiting Doom
Yeah.
1993. Is that it?
No, I think. But next.
So
week's
yeah,
game,
we're talking
no?
about next week's game.
Yeah.
Oh,
But that
yeah,
does
you're
conclude
right.
Doom.
That does
You're correct.
conclude
Does
Doom
conclude Doom. You were
1993. But whose pick is it this week?
I think
You know,
Is it
after
Jared's?
No, I
after you
think-
guys having to justify the fact that I did not SMAC certify Doom, I'm almost embarrassed to go over the next game for this week. And by almost, I'm really embarrassed. I mean, obviously, Thanksgiving is now, and we're going to move on to Christmas time, December. I was, I think snow. I mean, I didn't really grow up with a lot of snow, but when I think Christmas, I think snow.
He's selling it.
It's working.
This game, I honestly don't know how many of you have actually played. I swear this
I
guy,
probably
Red
haven't.
Jared, has played. I don't know how much you liked it. This might be one of those 1 out of 4 SMAC certified games, but it's something I know I'm excited to get into. I've been thinking about it since we started, or since you guys welcomed me onto the show. It's a Mario Kart-esque game, so it's not a Mario series game. It's going to be a 64 game, but it's essentially a racing game. I won't go into
Okay.
guesses because I don't think you've played it.
1080 snowboarding.
No.
No?
I don't have that. So it's Snowboard Kids. You probably won't be able to see it very well.
Snowboard Kids.
But this,
Made by Atlas.
I put a lot of hours into this game, and if you've even seen the cover,
let me
go and
take
take
a
a
look at
quick
this bad boy.
peek. But it's got a couple, different types of characters.
Was that a rental copy?
Silly. What's that?
Was that a rental copy?
Probably.
bought from like
Oh yeah.
yeah,
We
like
had a long
Blockbuster
Look
or
at the
something.
I think it was from
schnoz.
Blockbuster, to be honest.
So David, I SmackCertified everything so
yeah.
far. This might
Well, let's
break the
find out.
streak.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
I try to find the good in everything, but I don't know.
Hopefully it's cheap.
I don't think it is.
64? I don't think so.
It's not.
Oh, you already looked
it's
it up?
Now, do we have to play this all together, or is
I
it,
mean, obviously, you're gonna have a better time if you do, as like we did the Wii Sports. You want to at least partner up minimum, but it doesn't hurt to at least give it a shot solo if you can, and we'll kind of figure it out from there. But it's definitely I would say Christmas themed just by snow alone.
This is going to
but
be a tough one. But
the first thing I noticed
you're so
from
negative.
looking at it is every character on here has a schnoz on him.
Oh yeah,
Big old nose.
very cartoony.
Sorry if you got a big schnoz out there.
You know what Big Schnoz reminds me
It's
of?
4 players.
That's kind of why I like it.
Is it 4 player?
Yeah.
The Adam Sandler movie when he has the big schnoz.
Yeah, just go with it.
Oh, what a movie, by the way.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of Adam Sandler's best
You
movies.
think so?
Oh, by far.
Is that the one with Dolph Lundgren?
Yes, it is.
Dolph.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I played maybe like 15 minutes and then
Yeah.
turned it off and never played it again.
I remember seeing that like at Video Adventures. Like, what are we gonna rent? And I'm just like, that looks stupid.
It does, but also
Not knowing he owned
looks
it already.
fun.
Well, I mean, yeah, but if
I've never played it. It could be fun. Yeah.
if you and I've mentioned it already, the Mario Kart theme. If you play Mario Kart, you're racing. You're trying to stop everyone from getting or advancing. There's little tricks and tricks you can do to kind of skip some parts of the level, or you can shoot down your opponent. So it's gonna be very similar to that. So if you've enjoyed that, you might like it, or you might just say, "I'd rather play Mario Kart." But
I don't like how you wrote Snowboard Kids on the top.
yeah,
That's the
that was
part
my writing to look way worse than that. So
Sean probably wrote it.
I think that was
Sean Budabutt wouldn't do
Maria.
that.
I'm not gonna lie, Dave. I'm not excited to play that.
So just give me a
that's
just
2 for 2.
let me ask you a question and we can move on if you want.
So do I need to change my game?
No, is it similar to like 1080 type of thing where you're racing like that?
No,
Well,
Snowboard Kids. Did you
No,
fart again?
it's not because it's 1080. It's going to be more graphically appealing.
No, I mean
rather
the
than
same
super
type of
cartoony.
the concept where you just race just the 4 of you or whatever you play against.
Yeah, it's
I think it's 8 people
it's
racing.
No, it's 4. I think it should be 4 characters.
I'm
and
making
you're just-
crap up.
You're running laps. It's literally
laps. Okay,
yeah,
it
it's
wasn't just downhill.
down, and you go on the slip to go back up, and you kind
Oh,
of run
okay.
like 3 laps.
Okay.
And
All right. Well, hopefully we have 4 controls because I know we're
I
all
do.
clamoring to play this.
yeah,
We'll pop it in right now.
Yeah, that's good.
yeah. Go
Well,
ahead.
let's
Let's do it
uh,
live.
Okay, Pillow Riley.
That was
Oh,
perfect
I like
timing.
that, And that's all the time we have today.
Yeah, I guess that's going to do it.
Yeah.
Next week, we're going to be reviewing Snowboard Kids for the N64. We'll see if that's SmackCertified. If you wanted to get like a prediction, we're all leaning towards this might be pretty bad. He's loving that over there. But yeah, I think that's going to do it. Doom was not SmackCertified by
I'm actually
Dreamlight
glad
Dave?
I did it right now.
Oh.
I feel excited.
but all three, we're off the rails
Yeah.
here, guys.
Yeah.
I'll see you later.
Yeah,
That's
later.
gonna do it.
Peace.